Let's get a bit controversial today and talk about screen time. Hi, I'm Ashley, your candid parenting coach. I support parents who feel like whatever they're doing just isn't working anymore and it's time to make a shift. First, I want to throw all the judgment out the window. There is no room for it here. I use TV and screens all the time. In fact, when I'm feeling shitty and exhausted, the minions are my best friend. So there's no need to get defensive here. I wanted to tell you what we were noticing with TV and screens and how we changed the use in our home to work for us instead of against us. Because like I said, we still use it all the time. My absolute favorite way to check out and relax is to rewatch Friends for the billionth time. So I thought that was going to be the same for my kids. Whenever I could tell they just needed some downtime or some time to chill, I would turn on the TV and let them just kind of tune it out. And really, we still do that from time to time. But sometimes when we do this, we're seeing the opposite of what we want. My expectation after letting them wind down with TV is that when we turn it off, they'll kind of just be reset, ready to take on the next thing. When in reality, that is definitely not what happens. They often struggle more. They have a harder time listening. They seem very tired and they have a hard time finding anything to do, which then of course they get on each other's last nerves, right? And I mean, how dare they? I just let them watch 2 hours of TV. Go find something to do, right? I get it. Well, it turns out what I was seeing as a need to chill out is actually something called down-regulate, a need to down-regulate. This is a term used by experts meaning to decrease or minimize the intensity of an emotional experience. And for my kids, this emotional experience is usually overwhelm. Because after they have been in dysregulation or fight or flight for a long period of time from school or whatever, they need space to come back into safety and presence, just like us, right? So it makes sense that our go-to to meet their need is TV. I get it. I want alone time too. But here's truth bomb number 1. TV and video games are actually not a helpful regulation tool, and they can be more stimulating than you think. So while on the outside it looks like we're giving them a chance to check out, their brain is actually not getting the rest that you're setting out for, which for my kids, meant that the behavior was continuing because I was definitely not meeting their needs to down-regulate. So what does provide less stimulation for our kids? Where can they find this rest? Well, here's where you get to decide. You know what's best for your kids and for your family, and I'm never going to assume that what works for my family will work for anybody else's. But if alone time is of great importance to you, like it is to me, downregulation lies in independent play and boredom. I know we hate when our kids are bored. It can be so annoying watching them aimlessly walk around the house and complain. But I promise you, boredom is where the magic happens. Boredom is where our kids learn to draw, where they learn to pick up an instrument and fall in love, where they learn how to play a sport. If they are never given this free time, these hobbies are never discovered. For us, we decided to limit the use of screens throughout the week and replace it with this free time, allowing our kids time and the space to slow down and use play or hobbies to work through the emotional experiences in their own time. Now I see them craving this time and even asking for it. But do they still ask for TV? Yeah. Do they still huff and puff every now and then when I say, it's Wednesday, we can watch a movie on Friday? Most definitely. But I hold it because I know what my values are here. I know why I'm doing it. Now, this doesn't mean that I never cave. Hello, I'm human. Remember when I said the minions were my best friend on a shitty day? Well, that's truth bomb number 2. TV can be a regulation tool for us as parents, and I definitely use it to my advantage. When I'm feeling off or dysregulated and it's just been that kind of day, I will absolutely use TV to give myself some space with the conscious awareness of why I'm using it. But here's how we make these times work for us instead of against. We have the awareness that we're not using it as their regulation tool, and we set up the expectation before turning it on. And it might sound like, okay, guys, we're going to watch one show, and then it's going to be time for da 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 da, and then follow through, no matter what the protests are, right? We also understand how a lot of screen time affects our kids, meaning that on the weekends, when we allow for that extra screen time, because I like to sleep in, we understand that the hard moments that follow that morning are usually a direct effect of that, and we can make the shift to meet their needs for the rest of the day. Get outside, give them space, give them the free time, whatever. We have that awareness because we know our kids. If this topic feels kind of uncomfortable to you, I get it. We all grew up with TV and we turned out just fine, myself included, for the most part. I'm not saying you have to stop all screen time in your home, or that you're somehow less than if you choose to use screens or more or differently than we do. You get to choose what is best for your family. And you know what will meet the needs of your children and also the needs of you and your partner. I am a firm believer in that every parent is doing the best they can with the circumstances they are given. My main focus in creating this video is to help you better understand the behaviors that you may be seeing in your kids and how to meet the actual true need underneath. If you're struggling with creating these boundaries in your home, this is a huge part of my Chaos to Connection course. Click the link below for more information.